Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, maybe we'll wait. Yeah. Good morning, Dr. Palmer. This
Good
is Wazir
morning,
from
Mr. Ali.
Wazir
Yeah.
from
Good
Textile.
morning.
Yeah, IIT.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning. Nice to see you after a long
Thank
time.
you. Same here.
I interacted during our ICTN conference, long back before COVID.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how are the things? Things are well
So
there?
just I came back. You can say yesterday night around 11:30 or so from that Coimbatore. We were having a joint technological conference also over there.
Okay.
So that every 4 years it will go to different places. Now it is in Coimbatore.
All right. Okay.
So that is a 3 days program.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's why I requested to transfer my that lecture to this. That is a Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Should be fine. Yeah.
So how are you?
Doing
Hope
good. Doing good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Doing good. Yeah.
Hmm.
So our semester is going to be ended. Yeah. Another 2 class only, Monday and Tuesday. Then exam will be started.
Good.
Major exam and all. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we are very busy for taking quizzes and vivas for the labs and all kind of stuffs.
Okay.
This particularly in the last week and in a couple of days.
That is good.
So maybe we'll wait for another 2 minutes, then we'll
Yes.
start, I think. Yeah.
Sure. No.
Wazir, sir, can we start?
Yeah, I think because we are already, I think 6:09, so I think this is time to start. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So very good morning to all of you.
So just to interrupt, let me
Yeah, sure.
introduce to you first.
Yeah.
So welcome you all in the third day of Textile Tech 2022. So today we are in the session 18, which is on textile chemical processing. And to chair this session, we have an eminent chair, Professor Wajid Ali, who is professor at Department of Textile and Fiber Engineering, IIT Delhi. So we welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manali, for the introduction. So I'll just take this opportunity to welcome you all in this particular session on textile chemical processing. And many things are happening in this particular segment, especially a lot of value additions, value-added products people are working on using through chemical processing of textiles, through nanotechnology, natural finishing, sustainability, and all. So in the first lecture, we have keynote lecture from Dr. M.S. Palmer. Dr. M.S. Palmer is a current director and professor at NITRA for the last 28 years in various capacities. He's heading chemical quality evaluation division and coordinating Center of Excellence in protective textiles. His main areas of expertise are textile chemistry, protective textiles, unconventional fibers, and quality control of textiles. Besides, he's also looking after heat and fire laboratory and chemical laboratory at NITRA. He has also received 2 times the Best Technical Book Awards from AICTE. He has also received Best Research Awards for his works on denim and development of low-cost sizing machines, respectively. So with this, I would request Dr. Parmar to start your presentation, and he will be talking about modifying cotton surface with polyester resin to get a unique denim fading effect. So, Dr. Parmar.
Let me see where to share that one.
Yeah, so there is a, arrow mark, green color, share screen.
Just a minute. Arrow mark.
Yes, sir. Down in the icons, you have a green
1/2.
Yeah, upward direction.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not getting full screen over. Okay, okay. Now it's okay. Okay. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Can
it
you
is
make it
visible.
full screen? Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am going. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for introducing me over here. And I am going to present on modifying cotton surface with polyester resin to get a unique denim fading effect. So let me go further why we require that one. As you know that in the textile processing, it is one of the, you can say, largest in terms of resource consumption and pollution. And the wet processing of cotton is a long and complex process which consume a huge quantity of water, energy, textile auxiliary, etc. And that's why that you are getting a lot of pollution out of cotton processing. So most of the fabric preparation step, all sizing, desizing, everything, every steps require water because the water is the media to dye or prepare a fabric for dyeing. So that's why you require a huge quantity of water over here. And in textile wet processing, water is used mainly on 2 purposes. Firstly, as a solvent for processing chemicals, and secondly, as a washing and rinsing medium that is also require a lot of water because you have to remove unfixed dye from the surface or unfixed even sometime after finishing also you require that type of washing. So let me discuss my topic over here that let me give some brief about denim. And you know that there is a true denim and there is a pseudo denim also. And in case of pseudo denim, you can use a polyester also in weft and other, you can mix other types of yarn also that we generally use term pseudo denim, but actually true denim is that 3-up 1-down twill, and it requires that you have to dye that warp yarn with the indigo dye. And that indigo dye you have to, you know that indigo dye is a class of wet dye. And what you have to do in that case, you have to first do the reduction process of this dye, and then you have to make it water soluble by treating it with sodium hydroxide. And then finally you will get the sodium leucoform of that dye, and that can be dissolved to water. And that water is now having that leucoform of indigo dye, and you can pass the warp yarn in this dye, and then you have to reoxidize it by air or by any other means. Sometimes people are using hydrogen peroxide also for oxidizing this dye, and then this dye, when this dye oxidizes on the surface of cotton yarn, I must like to say one thing, that this dye doesn't penetrate inside the yarn, and you are getting a ring dyeing effect on the cotton yarn. Means that dye is not inside the yarn, it is on the surface only, and that is a uniqueness of this dyeing process, because you require finally a fading effect out of that. And fading effect you can get only when you rub that surface of this dyed material, that is a cotton or dyed material, or you can say denim, when you rub it with using stones or you're treating with the enzymes, cellulase enzymes, what will happen? It will remove the surface dye, because it will remove the, when we braid it, what will happen? The white portion of the yarn will come out, and that reflect as a fading effect. Okay, that is the requirement of this process, and that is the uniqueness of this denim. Otherwise, in normal way that we are wearing various types of clothes, we don't like to have that should fade. But in that particular case, in the case of denim, we require fading. That is a reverse thing over here. So this is the denim. And let me discuss something about my study. And in this study, the surface of cotton yarn was modified using a resin during the sizing process. Means we are not using a special type of sizing chemical. Instead of sizing chemical, we are using a special type of resin that will size the yarn. So we are avoiding a separate step. Same process we are using, we are not going to use anything. So this resin has a good affinity with dispersed dye. Means it will attach with the that is resin that is on the surface of cotton yarn. It will not penetrate inside the yarn because it will remain on the surface. So it will give the ring dyeing effect. Secondly, the fabric produced, we can have that type of yarn. We can dye treat the yarn as a sizing process during the sizing process, and that we can make a fabric out of that. And in different weave, you can use different types of yarn. You can have a combination of yarn. You can have that modified yarn as well as the gray cotton yarn. You can mix it, and finally, what you have to cure it and then dye it on the continuous dyeing range. We have dyed it in a continuous dyeing range only, and using an eco-friendly carrier. Okay, you must know that there are different type of dyes are available for dispersed dye. Some we have to high temperature, high pressure dye, 130 degrees Celsius. We have to dye that one, and there are low temperature dyes also where we can use a carrier to dye the dispersed dye, and the temperature may be around 90 degree, 100 degrees. So in that case, we have used a low temperature dyeing. And secondly, the carrier generally used are not eco-friendly, and they are nowadays some of the carriers are banned. But here we have used an eco-friendly carrier. This dyeing provide a ring dyeing effect, as I have already mentioned, because we have used a special type of resin on the surface of yarn. It will not penetrate inside the yarn. When you dye it with a dispersed dye, what will happen? The surface of the yarn will be dyed, and when you wash it, what will happen? The dye surface, some of the resin will abraded, and with that the dye will also come out, and you will get the fading effect. So this is the total, you can say, principle of that study. And other methods are also used. Different types of washing you can do to get a different effect in this one. So this new approach not only saved water, but it is environmental friendly also as we have not used any toxic chemical over here. So it is just like I should not say eco-friendly, but environmental friendly also, that it reduce the consumption of water, and as well as that we are not using any types of toxic carrier over here. That the carrier otherwise some of the carrier which is used for polyester dyeing nowadays banned. So this is the short, you can say a short and brief of that study which I am going to present over here. I have given you some background of my study, so it will be easy to understand further. We have, of course, we have carried out all types of tensile tear and other tests also in this study. The surface modification, you know that this is a very old story, and there are a number of research paper and number of studies you will get for getting that the cotton surface is modified, somehow catenized, something else to reduce the water consumption and reduce the salt consumption in the dyeing process. But this is a little bit different from that type of surface modification. Here we have used a different technique to get the different types of effect. There are plasma treatment also, laser treatment also to get the fading effect. And here we are using a different type of technique. We are not going to change any technology, but I would like to mention over here what we are going to change. We don't require any types of sheet dyeing or rope dyeing technique over here, because you know that in the case of sheet dyeing, generally in the indigo dyeing, we require sheet dyeing process that require a very long and very costly machine, and sometimes we have to use a rope dyeing machine also, and that is also very big machine. And but in that case, you don't require that type of machine. You must have. You don't require any special type of technology over here. Only the dyeing machines or other things, padding, mangle, everything are available in all the industries, and that can be used to produce that type of denim fabric. So this is the additional advantage of this technology. Let me give you a brief about what is the difference between conventional as well as new approach. Conventional approach in red font I have shown over here. First of all, you have to dye the yarn, and yarn dyeing is carried out in the two processes. One is the sheet form dyeing, I have already mentioned, and one other is the row form dyeing. And in both the cases, after dyeing, that you have to size this yarn, you have to use sizing chemicals, and after sizing, you have to weave it. And now you will have a cloth or a fabric. And then this fabric goes for making garmenting. You have to do garmenting over there, and then that garment is further go for processing. You require denim fading. Then you have to de-size that denim garments first. You have to dip that one 24 hours, sometime 18 hours, and now it is different types of de-sizing agents are also available. Still, we require to dip it into water. Sometimes we leave it for overnight, and then the next day we do the washing process of that fading effect to get the fading effect. And this fading effect can be carried out. Most of the cases, stones are used. And if we are not using 100% stone, then 50% stone and 50% enzymes is used for getting this type of fading effect. So this is the conventional process which I have shown in the red font. But if you go for a new approach, what is there? In that new approach, what you have to do that you have to first modify surface of the yarn. You can size it as such in the sizing machine, but using special types of chemical, that is a resin we are going to use over here. That resin is treated as a sizing agent over here. Then you can go for normal process of weaving. You can weave it in different weave as you like. You can change the weave. You can have 3 up, 1 down. Any weave you can use over here. Will weave you can have, and then pad, cure, and dry process we are using, and then finally we are dyeing it with dispersed dye on CDR, and then washing to get the different effect. Here we are going to use a washing effect, different types of washing effect. We are not going stone wash or other things. You can have a simple type of, you can increase, you can use a stone also, but in this study I have shown you the lab model processing, in which we have washed it into 60 degree as well as 90 degrees Celsius using steel balls to get the different washing effects on the denim fabric. Different types of the material and methods. If you see that we have used unsaturated polyester resin as a surface modifying agent, and then 2 low energy dispersed dye I am showing over here. We have used different dyes also, but here I am showing you 2 low energy dispersed dye, foreign dark blue and then robine. That 2 colors we have used. And other ingredients are acetic acid, vanillin. The vanillin is that carrier which we have used because it is based on eco-friendly. It is eco-friendly in nature. So we have used the vanillin over here. Gray cotton yarn, 9 count of yarn, open end, that is used, and we have procured it from the industries. And this is the simple process we have taken over here. The optimization concentration of UPR means that polyester resin, unsaturated polyester resin, was used as a sizing agent. As I have already mentioned, this is dissolved into water by warm water by continuous stirring. The solution was then applied on cotton yarn using CCI sample sizing machine, because we are having that type of machine over here. So we have used that machine, the size yarn. First, this study is not, I am showing you on fabric. First, we are optimizing that process. So we have used the yarn only. We have carried out all the study only yarn. That is, I am going to show over here for optimization process. The size yarn then dried at 100 degrees Celsius, and then warping is carried out. And on the warping week, we have then we have made a fabric on rapier loom that is shown over here, and 3 up, 1 down twill certainly we have used over here. And this is a 48 ends and 42 picks were taken for that. We have developed 3 types of fabric out of this study, in which we have used the combination of size and unsized yarn. You must note one thing over here. Size means that the yarn is treated with this special types of resin. So here when I am using that word sizing, so you must understand that they are treated with polyester resin over here. So these are the 3 types of sample we have developed out of weaving. In one case, warp and weft both are sized, means both are treated with this type of chemical or that type of resin. So I have coded it WPS/WTS. WP means warp, S means sizing, and WT means weft, and S means sizing. So these types of coding I have given over here. In the second one, we have warp sized with resin, and weft is having a pattern of 20 size yarn and 20 unsized yarn. So you can mix it, you can get a different types of check type of design when you wash it. That I will show you that picture also after fading. So in another study, warp is sized, but weft remain unsized. That type of thing we have carried out. So as we have used a different type of dye, that I have used blue and robine as a coding agent when we dyed that fabric. So I have just inserted blue in the case of dark blue dye, and robine at the case of that robine dye. That is the coding process over here. So the dyeing is carried out on continuous dyeing range. The woven fabric was first cured in the lab standard for 1 minute, 180 plus minus 3 degrees Celsius, and then dyed with using 5 gram per liter of dye with 14 gram per liter of vanillin as a carrier. That we have optimized during the process. The dyeing temperature was maintained 85 degrees Celsius for 1 minute, and with 1 meter per minute of dyeing speed. The padding was done through dip to lip process, and padding pressure was kept 1 bar. To get fading effect, sample were washed in a laundrometer as per the ISO 105 C10 with 2 washing condition we have taken, C3 and D4. C3 is carried out on 60 degrees Celsius, and D4 is a 95 degree. Of course, in case of 95 degrees Celsius, we have used 10 number of steel ball also. And this washing condition, one can use any type of washing condition as per the requirement. And when you change the washing condition, you will get the different types of effect out of that. So we are giving over here only 2 condition, in which one we have washed it only 60 degrees Celsius, and in the second we have used steel ball, and the temperature was 95 degrees Celsius to get the fading effect. And finally, we have tested these fabric unwashed as well as washed sample were tested for tensile, tear, and aerial density, and so on. So these types of properties are tested after the processing. Let me discuss some result and discussion over here. So the first is the optimization of concentration of that resin, which we have used as a sizing agent. And to get that one, if you able to see the graph over here. So I have given in the concentration of UPR, and in vertical axis and horizontal axis, you will get the concentration of resin and add-on percentage out of that. So if we change the resin concentration from in the first case, there is no any change. We have not used any resin. It is just to check whether that fabric is dyed with this dye. If we are not using resin, so just it is a blank sample you can see. And then we have used the resin concentration 10 gram, 30, 50, 70, 90, 120. And you see the plot that what is the add-on is going on the yarn, because the add-on percentage is very important. When we size some yarn, that add-on percentage is always calculated. So we should not have more add-on percentage, otherwise the flexibility of the yarn will you will lose the flexibility of yarn, and during weaving process there may be breakages. So if you go through this graph, you will see one thing, that after 50 gram of resin, 50 gram of resin percentage, when we go for 70, 90 and 120, so there is no much change in the add-on percentage. It means this is there is a saturation situation over here. So we have kept it as 50 gram per liter, that is the resin concentration, and we are getting the add-on percentage 6.8. So this is the optimization, one of the optimization parameter that we have carried out. Besides, we have also determined its breaking stand, tenacity, and hairiness. That study is only yarn that I must mention over here. So if you see the graph, so you will see the next graph that after that 50 gram of resin concentration, after that there is no much change in the breaking strength and elongation. Tenacity is also after this becoming almost flat, and hairiness also, you are getting a good suppression of hairiness at 50 gram per liter of this resin. So on the basis of all this study, we have fixed that we have optimized that 50 gram per liter of resin will be sufficient to get this type of effect. I must mention over here, this will vary with the count of yarn. We have carried out only 9 count of open-end yarn. If you change the yarn, that there will be a variation in this study also. So just note this point. So 50 gram per liter of concentration of this resin is selected for sizing yarn for weaving purposes. We have also carried out a FTR study on that. The main purpose of this study is that we want to show that yes, that resin is actually present on the yarn. So this is the basic aim of this study. And what we have taken over here. One is the unsized yarn, means untreated yarn. As gray yarn we have taken of cotton. Then one yarn is treated with this type of resin. That is a size yarn, you can say. And third one is we have taken that unsaturated resin in a powder form. So all the three were plotted against this using that FTIR, and through the FTIR we could able to say that they all are having a broad peak 2,917 per centimeter, that region, or to 2,920 centimeter per centimeter. This is the peak that represent that CH stretching, and that is a common for cotton, any type of cotton yarn or any type of cotton material that you will get. Even you will get the different types of stretching vibration, COC and CC and CO. That comes under 1,029 to 1,039. And that you are getting in size at unsized yarn also. But the special peaks we are getting for this, due to this sizing agent or this resin, you will get 1,720. That attribute the presence of C double bond O stretch. A strong peak is observed, found in both the means size yarn as well as that unsaturated polyester powder. That you are getting that peak over there, that CO stretching over there. So this type of study proved that that sample is sized with this polyester resin. I am not going further in this process. This is the only study which we want to show that yes, of course, our yarn is sized with this resin only. Now optimization of that carrier, that is also very important. I have already mentioned we have used vanillin over there, and that the graph, I'm just reading this graph. If you see that what we did, we have sized this yarn with a different concentration of vanillin, 4 gram, 8 gram per liter, 12 gram, 14, 15, 16 and 20 gram per liter, and then that yarn was dyed in a one dye that is mentioned over there, Rubine dye we have used. It was dyed with that dye, and then K by S value was determined, and according to the color strength due to that K by S or K by S value, you will see that after 14 gram per liter, there is no much change in the K by S value. So what we did, we selected that 14 gram per liter will be okay for dyeing, further dyeing process. So this is the optimization of carrier over here. And then finally, what we are coming that how to make fabric. The fabric were made, different types of fabric were made. As I mentioned in the starting material methods, we have made 3 types of fabric over here. In the both warp and weft are sized. Warp size, weft remain unsized. Warp size with 15 with the sizing agent, but weft is having mixed size and unsized yarn to get stripped a design. So some design you can get out of that fabric, and we have coded according to this way. So and then the curing is carried out after that. That of course these fabric samples were cured 1 minute and then dyed with 2 colors. That is shown over here. That we are using a CDR machine, and the processing are shown over here. The blue dye is there, rubine dye is there, and then how to dye it, that is just reflected in this this slide. Now comes to the fading factor, and that we have used different types of condition. Condition 1, I have already mentioned 60 degrees Celsius washing, and that condition 2, in which we have used around 90 degrees Celsius along with steel balls. And the K by S value are also determined, and you will see that the unwashed fabric that I have shown you without wash also. The first one is the without wash, and I have given the three separation over here. In which first one is the without wash. You can see the without wash is having K by S value 7.84 and rubine 7.04 respectively. But after washing with the condition 2 and 1, you will getting the fading effect accordingly. If you wash it 90 degree, you will get, of course, more washing effect, or you will get more fading effect compared to the condition 1. So that is shown over here. These types of fabric you can get, even you can have a designs also over there. That is also shown. Different type of design you can get over. I have shown you just one design over here. The types is there, but you can get different types of design when you use that type of study. So these unwashed samples are. This is just this slide just show that. What is the effect on tensile, tear, and other strength? And it is natural, and it is already established fact that when you wash the denim fabric, any denim fabric or true denim fabric, there are always a change in strength and tear, but it will not affect overall durability of denim fabric, because you know that a denim is already very strong fabric, and if its tensile strength decreases, it will not affect its life, because generally we use 4 year, 3 year, 5 year, maximum 5 year of the denim jeans. Nowadays, all are using garment up to 3 year. That is the study indicated. But if you go further, also that you will see that this tensile strength will give you good durability also. The starting warp wise, tensile strength was 585 Newton to 650 Newton, and weft wise 560 Newton to 588 Newton. After giving washing treatment, it decreases to 568 Newton to 594 Newton warp wise, and weft wise it is at 395 Newton to 550 Newton. So this is the study, and tear strength also going in this way only. The results shows that washing process reduces the tensile and tear strength. This is a well-established fact, and it is not new we are getting over here. So because due to rubbing action, you will get that thing. So now I am concluding my this study. I think I am in time. Hope I am covering this. Conclusion is that in this study, the surface of cotton yarn was modified using dispersed dye, and then modified yarn along with the gray yarn. You can get different types of dyeing effect and different type of washing effect. Different types of studies were carried out on this, which include the FTIR study. Just show that whether that resin is present on the surface of yarn or not. That is the study we have. We have also carried a SEM study that the results are not being shown over here. That is also there. The concentration of unsaturated polyester resin and vanillin concentration were optimized to get good results, and curing process were carried out on continuous dyeing range. And then it was dispersed dye is carried out on CDR and that using vanillin carrier. These dyed samples were washed in two type of washing condition, as I mentioned, 60° and 95° Celsius. And these wash sample along with unwashed sample were analyzed for color strength, real density, tensile tear, and other properties. Results showed that color strength, real density, tensile strength of these property are decreases, and flexibility of sample also improve after washing. That is a fact over there. And we are thankful to Ministry of Textile, Government of India for sponsoring this project. We are also thankful to our weaving and dyeing department and laboratory for carrying out this study. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Palmer, nice presentation. I think we started late, so I think you are on time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes extra, that's fine.
Yeah.
So Dr. Palmer has done excellent work, and he has tried to modify the modern system to produce fading effect of denims. And I believe that there is no need of desizing also for this particular process, because size material is also going to be on the substrate for a long time, right? So
Yes.
excellent work. So I think the audience, if you have any questions, then you can post your question in the chat box, because I think we are on and we need to go ahead. And I think, Dr. Palmer, are you available at the end of the session, up to end of the session?
Okay, I will
Yeah.
be there. Okay,
Yeah.
I
So
will be
at
there.
the end, we'll take up the some other questions also face to face, right?
Okay.
So without delaying, Manali, I am going for the next presentation.
Sir, next presenter is not available with us. So we can start with the oral lectures from Akansha Gada.
Okay, all right. Okay. So Akanksha, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Akanksha, her topic is basically casting fermented natural black tie, and she is from Institute of Home Economics, University of Delhi, New Delhi. So Akanksha, can you introduce in one line yourself and start your presentation?
Yes, thank you so much. A very warm good morning to all of you. Myself, Akanksha Agrawal. I'm a PhD scholar pursuing my PhD in the Fabric and Apparel Science Department of Institute of Home Economics. So my work is based on this natural dye, which is called kasim, which yields a black colorant. And I've done a pilot study, which I would like to present as part of this oral presentation. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'll just share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Thank you, ma'am. So the title of my study is Kasim, a fermented natural black dye. So what exactly is Kasim? When we ferment a mixture of jaggery and iron scrap, it yields a black colorant, and that black colorant can be used to dye textile fabrics and is called Kasim. Kasim goes by various names across traditional crafts like Kasim Karam, Syahi, and Koot. It is such an ancient dye. It dates back to 13th and 14th century. And in the 1600s, it was extensively used in chintz. And during the 1600s, chintz fabrics were highly sought after all throughout the European markets. It had high export value. So back then, and even now, till date, Kasim was used in hand painting and printing. As I've shown in the pictures as well, it was used extensively in hand painting crafts for kalamkari and hand printing, block printing. So Kasim is a heritage dye, and like I said, it has been essential to many traditional crafts like kalamkari, matani pachedi, bark printing, ajrak printing, bagru printing, dabu printing. And in all these crafts, kasim was used as an outline since it yields a black color in. So that black color was used to make the outlines of the various designs of the fabric. Now, as we know that the industry wants to go, it's an urgent need to go towards sustainability. So what makes Kasim special? It presents a very good alternative to synthetic black dyes in a sense that it's truly sustainable. The raw material, one of the raw materials which is used in the production of Kasim is iron scrap, which can easily be obtained as a waste material from other industries. Other than that, it requires no extravagant equipment setup. As we know that the inherent limitation with vegetable-based natural dyes is that their extraction process and application process is highly laborious. That part is eliminated when we are talking about Kasim, because all we need for Kasim is a container as per our requirement where we can ferment this mixture of jaggery and iron scrap for a certain period of time. And then we have the black color and Kasim. So that makes Kasim really cheap as compared to other vegetable-based natural dyes. When we are dyeing with Kasim, there's instant color development. We do not need to heat the dye mixture, dye bath, as with other natural dyes or synthetic dyes for that matter. And that makes the dyeing, the preparation of Kasim as well as dyeing with Kasim, a low energy intensive process. So the significance of my study is that Kasim, as I have already explained, is an invaluable dye. It's a heritage dye. But the problem is that today it is languishing because there's been no scientific documentation of Kasim, no scientific standardization of Kasim, which is why the artisans, even the traditional artisans, are shifting towards the chemical alternatives to Kasim. They are shifting towards ferrous sulfate, which they call Hirakashi or Kashi. So that is making Kasim disappear and languishing. So this research work aims to standardize the manufacture and application of Kasim and thereby presenting an inexpensive, commercially viable alternative to synthetic black dyes. So the objective of this particular presentation, my pilot study, was to scientifically explore the effect of varying sugar sources and iron quantity on the dyeing efficiency of the fermented natural black dye, which is Kasim. The methodology which I followed was I took 4 different sugar sources, which is organic cane jaggery, chemically washed cane jaggery, date palm jaggery, and sugarcane juices. And I used these variables along with the variable of iron quantity, wherein I used 4 different quantities of iron scrap. The quantity of sugar sources was kept at constant at 25 grams. And based on that, the iron quantity was less than the sugar source, equal to the sugar source, double to the sugar source, and triple to the sugar source. So these variables were put into place and the fermentation was carried out for 28 days. And the average temperature was 30 to 35 degrees C and 75% relative humidity was there. And then the Kasim was tested for its dyeing efficiency. So these were the different sugar sources which were taken. So when we are applying Kasim, the very important process is pre-mordanting of fabric. Like most of the natural dyes require pre-mordanting. In the case of Kasim, the pre-mordanting process is done using a tannin-based mordant. So the most commonly used tannin-based mordant across crafts is Harar. So Harar in this pilot study was used as a mordant, and Harar is tannin-based. It has various different tannin compounds like tannic acid, cherbulic acid, terturbulin, and it's a nut. This dried nut is powdered, and then the fabric, the scurred, de-sized fabric, is treated with Harar powder. So for this particular study, I took 30% on weight of fabric Harar powder in 1:30 mLr ratio, and the fabric was treated for 15 to 30 minutes at 60 degrees C. Then we get this cream colored, slightly yellowish colored fabric, which is the pre-mordanted fabric. And the process of application of Qasim is so simple that as soon as we dip the fabric, the pre-treated fabric in the Qasim solution for 5-10 seconds, and then we spread it onto a blotting paper and expose it to air, it instantly develops a grayish blackish color in less than 5 minutes. Depending on the strength of Qasim, the color develops. So the results and which I obtained from this study was, so I observed my fermenting liquor, dye liquor, for various physical changes across the 28 days of fermentation. So the appearance changed in the way that from light, for all the different sugar sources, from light, the color of the liquor deepened as the fermentation progressed. So for organic cane jaggery, the color deepened and became brown and then dark khaki green to brown. Similarly, for date palm jaggery, it became brown black pretty faster as compared to the cane jaggery, sugar cane jaggery liquors. And with chemically washed sugar cane jaggery, this was how it changed. With the sugarcane juice, the trend was a bit different because from day one itself of fermentation, the dye liquor was completely black. So this shows that the dye liquor was maturing and the iron content from the iron scrap was coming into the dye liquor by the means of microbial and chemical actions. Next, the pH value of the fermented dye liquors was tracked all throughout the 28 days, and it was observed that during the first 12 to 14 days, the pH of the liquors dropped. It dropped up to 3 pH for some liquors, and then thereafter, post 14 days, it started increasing again, and it became stable at 6 pH. The starting pH was around 6 to 7 pH, and in the end of at the end of 28 days also, it became 6 to 7 pH, but there was a dip in pH in the mid of the fermentation. The microscopic evaluation was done on day 13th of fermentation, and it was LPCB stain was used, and it was observed that multiple fungal colonies were present along with yeast which were undergoing budding, plus various colonies was also present. Further study into the microbial identification will be done further in my study. So all throughout in different sugar sources, the similar microculture was found. The K-bias values were noted for samples which were dyed with Qasim on each day of the 28-day fermentation period, and the highest K-bias values were obtained between the 15th day and 28th day of fermentation, and after which until 28th day of fermentation, when the fermentation completed, the K-bias value remained more or less similar. So these are the different samples which were obtained. The LAB values were also tested, and in the graph given, the LAB values of the samples dyed with sugarcane juice are shown. So LAB values basically tell us the color value. In the L value tells us the darkness or the lightness of the color. A and B tell us the intensity of the different colors, red, yellow, green, and blue. So the lowering L and AB values indicate that the color was moving towards a true deeper black color, and it had very less other colors mixed in it. The color fastness was tested at Nitra in Ghaziabad, and the results indicated that the samples dyed with Qasim had very good color fastness to washing and rubbing as well as perspiration. However, the light fastness was poor. So what is the conclusion which we can draw from it? The fermentation of Qasim occurs naturally at a low pH. And when we say it's occurring at a low pH, it means that the chemical reaction is not taking place as much as microbial reaction. So at this point of my study, we have hypothesized that there's microbial action going on in the fermentation of Qasim, which makes it a better alternative as compared to ferrous sulfate or other synthetic dyes, and which acts upon increasing its color fastness properties. Qasim matures in 15 to 20 days and produces a gray-black color, and the best results were obtained from sugarcane juice. The Qasim created with sugarcane juice and iron scrap for 15 days. When it was fermented for 15 days, that yielded the best results. And the color fastness to rubbing, washing, and perspiration was very good. So thank you so much. That's my presentation.
Yes, Akanksha, very nice presentation, and I think you are exactly on time. 10 minutes you could, finish your presentation. That's wonderful. So in the current scenario, yes, sustainability is a great, I think, word, and people are trying to get into sustainability in textile chemical processing as well. So it started with natural dyeing for textile substrate, and in between a lot of synthetic chemicals and auxiliary chemicals, dyes and all came into the picture, and people are once again trying to get back to the natural solution, right? So this is one of the example, Kasim. You are trying to reviving the heritage dye once again into the market. That's wonderful. So I would request,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, I request audience to post your questions and also the presenter to respond them. And at the end of the session, we'll take a few questions and face to face, right? So thank you, Akanksha, for your nice presentation.
Sir, I just want to say that already our participants has been posted the questions in the chat box.
Okay.
So active speakers can answer their questions in the chat box.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful.
Mm.
So our next presenter, Sharmin Jahan Ansari. Her topic is finishing of fabric with natural dyes. So once again, the sustainability approach is there. And she is from Gobind Ballabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. Sharmin, are you there? Yes. So could you please share your screen?
Sharmi, please on your camera and unmute yourself.
Sharmin?
So I guess internet connectivity is not good there.
Sharmin, you are not audible at the moment.
Sharmin, please unmute yourself.
So 1 minute, I'm trying to share my screen. So 1 minute,
Yeah, now you are visible. Your video is also on. Can you please unmute yourself?
screen is visible.
Yes,
Not-
Sharmin, your screen is visible. But this is the background you are showing to us, not your presentation. Please on your presentation.
Ma'am, now?
Wait, it's taking time, I guess. There is a time lag between your screen and what we are seeing. Just wait for 2
Ma'am,
minutes.
now it is visible.
No, Sharmin, only the backdrop of this conference is coming on the screen, not your presentation. Sharmin, please unshare and share it again. There is some issue with your connectivity. So just check. Please unshare and share your screen again.
Maybe. Now it is visible, ma'am.
It's sharing. Just wait for, yeah, now it's visible. Can you make it full screen?
Now it's okay, ma'am.
I guess your presentation will not work in full screen. Can you make it?
Ma'am, it is visible now.
It's not visible. Can you make it without slideshow? Can you show your presentations? Because with slideshow, there is an issue with your
Okay,
presentation.
ma'am, now it is visible.
Yeah, so you can present in this mode only. You can start your presentation. Sharmeen.
Sanmin, you can start your presentation. You just take 1 minute to introduce yourself and you just finish exactly in 10 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Pantnagar University. I'm going to present my presentation on finishing of fabrics with natural dyes. As we already know that India is a rich tradition of using the natural dye of coloring textiles. Dyeing is an effective and a popular finishing process that adds color to the textile. Natural dyes can be extracted from animals, insects, minerals, and from parts of the plants such as roots, stems, leaves, bark, and flowers. In today's world, industries are using the synthetic dyes which are harmful to the human beings and to the natural and to the nature. So now the peoples are moving towards the natural dyes. First synthetic dyes were in 1856, and now these dyes are being banned because of the carcinogenic in natures and azo dyes. So the natural dyes have several good properties over the synthetic dyes, and natural dyes are eco-friendly, biodegradable in nature, non-toxic, and non-allergic. My objective of the study is to screen out the different plants for the selection of the best dye source for finishing of the fabrics, and to evaluate the best natural dyes on the basis of color strength, washing fastness, and the visual evaluation. Materials and methods of my experiments are silk, wool, and cotton fabrics were used from the it's taken from the Gandhi ashram from the Pantnagar, and the extraction of the dye was carried out in the 3 different mediums in acidic, basic, and neutral medium. And the dye powder, 2 grams of the dye in 100 ml of distilled water is taken at the degree of 80 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes, and then the dye is extracted and the solution is prepared for further dyeing on the cotton, wool, and silk fabrics for 60 minutes. The best dye sources is selected on the basis of the color strength, washing fastness, and visual evaluation. These 3 sources were taken: hermal seeds were taken, lychee leaves were taken, and arjun bark. These were granulated and formed into the powdered form. Hermal arjun bark into the arjun powder. In 3 different mediums, acidic, basic, and neutral mediums were taken using the dye bath. Different colors were obtained by using the 3 different dyes on 3 different mediums and 3 different mediums like cotton, silk fabrics, and then the wool fabrics. We get the different colors. Same with the lychee leaves, we get the different colors in different mediums. And with the arjun barks, we get the different colors on different fabrics, treating with the different mediums. Color strength of the hermal seeds, lychee leaves, and arjun barks with the medium of extraction taking acidic, basic, and neutral, we get the highest color strength on the silk fabrics. It's a 13.911. It is the highest amongst the 3 sources. And taking the washing fastness of these fabrics were rating for the changes in the colors. CC represents the change in color. S is staining on the color, and staining on khadi fabrics, staining on the silk fabric, staining on the wool fabrics. These are the different ratings which we get after the evaluation of the fabrics, which shows that much much changes is there if we get the first reading, and the rating changes for staining if we get the one with the heavily stained fabric. Then we have done the visual evaluation for the fabrics which were dyed with the natural dyes. According to the visual evaluation, we get the highest rating with 82.3% in the same as we get in the color bias, color strength. We get the thermal seeds dyed on the silk fabrics in the basic medium. We get the 82.3% with the visual evaluation. These are the conclusions of my findings, that in the herbal seeds, lychee leaves, and the Arjuna bark, the highest color strength of the fabrics is with the neutral medium, in the basic medium with the silk fabrics, and with the visual evaluation also it got the 82.3% with the herbal seeds in the basic in nature. So my findings with the 3 natural dyes, the best so natural dyes amongst the 3 is the herbal dye, and according to the mediums, we get the basic medium with the best dye source, and in the fabrics we got the silk with the best for color absorbent according to the recent study. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, Sanmin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Wonderful. And you could finish in exactly in 10 minutes. This congratulations. So you worked on natural dyeing,
sir.
on different kind of natural fabric, like wool, silk, and cotton and all. But it did not talk about any finishing aspects, right? But your topic is all about finishing a fabric with natural dyes.
The natural dyes is also a finishing. It provides the aesthetic value to the fabric. It fabrics.
So that is the aesthetic values. That is, the coloration aspects, right?
Yeah,
So
yes,
is there
sir.
any particular properties did you check in your study?
So my study is going on. This is
Okay.
just a part. This is a screening part I've given it. I will give the aesthetic is the main, not the main antimicrobial finishes. My
Okay.
work is going on, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, all the best for your work. Okay.
Thank
So
you, sir.
audience, if you have any questions, then you can post your question in the chat box, and Miss Sarmin, just keep on an eye in the chat box to answer them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well,
So please unshare your screen. So our next presenter, Miss Vinita Singh. She again from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, and she'll be talking about textile finishing, printing of polyester fabric with a dispersed dye and natural gum. Vinita, are you there?
Sharmeen, we request you to unscreen your. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, please share your screen. So there are a lot of background sound, Vinita. Yeah, now it's fine. All right. So you have 10 minutes to cover your stuff, okay? You just introduce yourself first, then you start your presentation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, someone is talking here. Please try to mute everything.
Vinita, there's some issue, I think, in the audio.
Please tell them.
Sir, I'm visible now.
Yeah, you are visible, but your sound quality was not good. So Now your screen is visible.
My screen is visible.
Yes.
My screen is visible.
Vinita, not yet. Could you please share your screen? Yeah, now it's visible, Vinita. You can go ahead, please. Make it a full screen, if possible.
Good morning, everyone.
No, once again,
My
it's not
screen is
coming.
visible.
Not yet.
Okay.
It was visible, but suddenly it go off.
Is it
Yeah.
visible?
Yes, it's now. Yes.
Yeah. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Yes, myself, Vinita, a PhD scholar from Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. Today, I'm going to present my research work, and the title is Textile Finishing, Printing of Polyester Fabric with Dispersed Dye and Natural Gum.
Recording in progress.
So let's begin with the introduction part. And this is a process that is done to change the appearance, the hand, or the performance. So basically, changes of appearance can be done by textile printing also. And textile printing is basically a process in which color is applied to a specified area instead of the entire fabric. And printing is done using printing paste, which consists of the dyes and other auxiliaries. And one of the auxiliaries is thickening agent also. And the thickening agent, which may be natural as well as the synthetic thickening agent. And synthetic thickening agents are generally high molecular weight polymers, and they are difficult to dispose of as they create sedimentation in the water during their waste disposal. So synthetic thickeners have many drawbacks, such as they have high toxicity, they have high cost, and also they create environmental damage. So plant products are favored over synthetic ones because of their biocompatibility, their low toxicity, and also plant products are environment friendliness. So and also plant products have a low cost compared to manufactured alternative. And we all know that the industrialization resulted in the innovation of many new synthesized fiber, which can also be colored at the polymer stage. So in printing, besides the thickening agent, we require many chemicals and effluent, so they are harmful to the environment. So to minimize the harmful effect of effluent, the printing recipe was made using natural gums. And researchers nowadays are looking for eco-friendly alternative. And yes, natural thickeners appear to be ideal choice for the consumers with eco concerns. These are the objective of the printing recipe using natural gums. The second objective was the printing of polyester fabric using natural gum. And the last is to assess the physiochemical characteristics of the effluent released during the stages of printing. This slide is talk about the material and methods. The first is the precursor of polyester fabric using natural gum. And the last is to assess the physiochemical characteristics of the effluent released during the stages of printing. The next is the procurement and preparation of fabric. With plain weave was taken, and the second is the thickener paste. Under this, basically 5 natural thickener was taken, such as guar gum, gum tragacanth, gum acacia, gum talha, and sodium alginate was taken on the basis of the literature. And after that, the preparation of thickener paste, the natural gum was soaked for overnight. And after that, the thickener was made. The next is the preparation of printing recipe. Under this, different 5 recipes was used on the basis of literature. And after that, the screen printing of sample. In this flat screen printing was done. was used with the two motifs like fine and bold as well. And after that, the fixation was done on the printing samples. And after that, the assessment of printing samples. The printing samples were assessed by the 30 members of the department, comprised of junior research fellow, senior research fellow, as well as the faculty of the G.V. Pant University from the Department of Clothing and Textile. And after that, the last is affluent characteristics of printed samples such as BOD and COD. Here are some result and discussion of the study. So plate number 1 shows the sample which are screen printed with different natural thickeners and dispersed dye and with the polyester fabric. Here are five gums like gum talha, gum acacia, gum tragacan, sodium alginate, as well as the guar gum. And fabrics are printed with two motifs, fine as well as bold print, as you can see in this plate. After the printing, the sample was evaluated by the 30 members. So this is the weighted mean score of the visual evaluation of the samples. And the parameters was uniformity of print, sharpness in outlines, overall appearance, as well as the average. So this is for the gum talha. The next table is for the gum acacia. The same parameter and averages was taken. This is for gum tragacanth. This is for sodium alginate, and this is for guar gum. So this table shows the weighted mean score as for the different gums. So on the basis of this graph, you can see that the gum talha scored the highest score in all over the gums. And this table shows the BOD and COD of wastewater generated during the printing phase. And here are some sources of wastewater and the permissible limit for BOD as well as for the COD. And here there are 3 stages. For stage 1 for the pre-treatment before the printing, and for stage 2 during the printing waste, and stage 3 is comprised of washing waste. Now, on the basis of this table, as you can see, for gum 1 is for the gum talha. It secured the low BOD as well for the COD, and all these are the under permissible limit. So conclusion is, for obviously natural thickeners are preferred to over the synthetic thickeners, as they are comparatively cheap and easily available, and yes, they are non-irritant to the nature. And second is the natural products are generally non-polluting, and yes, synthetic thickeners have certain thing. Natural thickeners are eco-friendly, and as you on the basis of that, as you say in the table there, that the effluent release from these gums are under the permissible limit, and gum talha secured the highest. Thank you.
Okay, Vinita. Thank you so much for your presentation. Nice presentation. And you just worked on the printing part, especially of polyester fabric using different kind of natural gums. Okay. So audience, if you have any questions, then you can post your questions in the chat box. In the meantime, Manali, we have Professor Baheti for presentation.
No, sir, he will be not available because
Okay.
he's not feeling good. I would like to thank our session chair, Professor Vazindari, to conducting the session so well, and all the speakers to share their work so much good. Sorry for the convenience, because our all the sessions has been closed, so we are getting delayed for the next session. So we have to terminate this session here. Sorry for the inconvenience to all. But you can share your questions in the chat box, and respective speakers can answer their questions in the chat box. So we'll request you all to have a tea and then rejoin at 10:30 for the next 3 parallel sessions. So thank you all. Thank you, Professor Vazindari, for conducting the session so well.
Thank you so much, Manali.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Okay. May I start, sir?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome you all in the session 21, which is Fashion, Fabrics and Technology. I would like to introduce our session chair, Mr. Rajiv Pandey, who is the Vice President at Guinea Filaments. I welcome you, sir. Kindly begin the session. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's like a Mahakumbh of textile technology, advanced technology for me. For me, the fashion industry is known to be the forefront of innovation. Textile technologies and textile innovations have constantly grown at rapid pace, allowing for explorations and futuristic interventions that better the planet to deform. When it comes to fashion innovation, the industry is future-driven and consumer-focused with respect to the way our clothing and accessories are designed, manufactured, distributed, and marketed, and how and from which textile technology the garment was born from. Now, more than ever before, designers and brands are embracing the power of nature to create a more sustainable, safer, and healthier world through different innovation. I could see and latest technologies leading different textile innovation.
Sir, you are on mute. Good morning, sir. You are
Yeah.
on mute. Yeah.
I'm sorry, something went wrong. So again, I'm coming to back that market is the key to all the innovations. Customer are the key. I've been traveling to different countries from past months to get new buyers, new orders, because the market condition is very bad due to recession in US. Now everywhere, the people are demanding new technology, new finishes, something new for the customer. And when I was in this seminar from past 2 days, I could see so many new things are coming up. So the question is how to bring all these innovations to the market, to the customer, to the ultimate consumer who is the king and who is going to bring these innovations from all of us. There is a lot of things which is happening in India or abroad on these kind of things, but how to take them forward? That's what I was thinking for past 2 days. And my questions to all these people who have been presenting the different finishes, technologies, that how you are going to market yourself. There were two ways. One, the people who had been sponsored by one industry, so that industry was buying from, and other one who had made something, but they are looking for the customer. So there is a strong need now after this seminar to all the industry people. I could see hardly few people from the industry. I could see Kishan Daga or few people from other industry on the screen who can take this forward to the different buyers or agency like Textile Association who can help the industry to take up from here to take to the ultimate customer and to make it user-friendly for everybody and successful innovation for the one who have done so much hard work on this. So with this, Ronnie, I'll start and request you to call the speaker on this session. And thanks a lot for attending. Thank you very much.
Sir, may I call the speaker or you will call the speaker?
Okay, I thought you would call the speaker.
Okay, so if you want, then I can.
Okay, I'll start it. So I'll request Shesta to give on a presentation on evolution of fabrics by upholstery covers. Shesta is from Hindustan Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, India. So go ahead, Shesta. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to all. I'm here to do this presentation on behalf of Dr. Gokarnation from Hindustan Institute of Science and Technology. Myself, Shaista Shabnam from JBS College of Women. And I'm here today to speak on evaluation of fabrics for upholstery covers. I'm going to speak about upholstery, sewing, furniture, seam, tensile strength, fabric finish, and design. Furniture is a basic object for everyday use and is both practical and functional in character, providing also decorative aspect in residential interiors. Upholstered furniture, apart from the main relaxation aspect, is designed to make the interior more attractive. The complexity of upholstered furniture construction allows freedom in designing forms and shapes, and thus creation of unique and unrepeatable objects. The aesthetic appearance of furniture is mainly affected by the quality of workmanship. Upholstery is the work of providing furniture, especially seats, with padding, springs, webbing, and fabric or leather covers. Upholstery comes from the Middle English word upholder, which referred to an artisan who makes fabric furnishings. However, during the production process, there is a risk of defects appearing, which significantly reduces the aesthetic value of the furniture and decreases the product's impact on the customer. However, upholstered products should be characterized by durability in both construction and cover elements, which are in direct contact with the human body, maintaining comfort and safety of use. Such technologically and structurally complicated products as upholstered furniture are subject to detailed quality control, especially in terms of fabrics. When considering only the textile aspect, it must be stated that textile production is one of the oldest worldwide industries with a production volume exceeding 88.5 million tons per year. So upholstery fabrics as a fundamental material provides an extended research field, which includes types, structure, mechanical properties, acoustical properties, comfort, manufacturing production process, and a very deep environmental impact. In general, the quality of the fabric is described based on following parameters: the tensile strength, the elongation percentage, the rupture, texture, and the breathability of the fabric. Fabric strength is a result of raw materials like yarn characteristics, spinning technique, fabric geometry, yarn crimp during processing, and weaving conditions, including temperature, humidity, yarn tensions during the weaving. The aspect of seams is very important. Seam stiffness and strength efficiency, along with the draping behavior and slim puckering, are also being researched. It has been proved that higher strength of thread result in higher seam strength and better functional performance of the seam. Seam strength increases with the increase in sewing thread linear density. Moreover, fabrics with coarser yarn counts and shorter stitch lengths have better functional performance characteristics. The bursting strength of test fabric gradually increases in stitch length. Maximum bursting strength is achieved in small stitch lengths. The covering material, a structure built from connected pieces of fabric, is a key element in the aesthetic and appearance of upholstered furniture. The quality of the stitching and the way of fabric fits on the cover are crucial for the overall external appearance of the product. Testing the strength of upholstery covers requires consideration of many aspects that build the fabric joint system. The strength of upholstery covers is influenced by several factors, such as the type of fabric used, cover type of construction, and direction of cutting. The threads, the type of threads used, the type of stitching, and the seam density. Unfortunately, it is observed that the cover as the outer layer of upholstery system is frequently neglected during testing. Quality checking checking is often limited to applying force simply by hand and through seam observation. This method is insufficient to more extensively counteract potential defects in cover stitching. In everyday use, the reliability of the cover's connection is just as crucial as the internal construction of the entire piece of furniture, since the cover is in direct contact with the user, thus it is exposed to the greatest damage. Furniture producers are looking for test methods that allow them to obtain the best possible configuration in terms of strength, which also would minimize the occurrence of potential customer complaints. Determining the influence of selected factors of the strength of furniture covers will allow the proper selection of materials at the early stage of the upholstered furniture design process and the elimination of manufacturing defects of finished products. The knowledge gained may be particularly useful in increasing the quality of upholstered furniture, thus reducing the number of complaints in the field of sewing work and increasing the durability of products and the safety of use. Therefore, the aim of the study was to investigate the effect of the direction of the fabric die cut and the type of material used on the seam strength and the failure forms. The test was done using 3 types of fabrics, namely Secret 10, Power 13, and Soft 10. Now, the testing on the fabric have been prepared so that they consider how different components affect the strength of fabric seam joints. The fabrics have been paired in different configurations, 42, 43. The fabrics have been related to the direction of cutting as follows: AA, BB, and AB, where A is along the warp direction and B across the warp direction, which is along the weft. Now that's the fabric view. And this is the view of the fabric on the right side of the seam. And this is the view of the fabric on the left side of the seam. These are the basic properties of the 3 fabrics which were compared. The last one being the cake artificial leather and the first 2 being 100% polyester. The tensile performance during the tensile test, the failure force and displacement were measured for each fabric type. It is worth noting that for sample number 6 of Power 13 fabric, the maximum force reached extraordinary values both in force and displacement. I have the pictures of the both. I will just show a bit in a while. It was a result of having denser sewing and double finishing in one sample site, which was not noticed. It is found that average fabric rigidity and the standard deviation of the results, taking into consideration the sample's cutting direction, values of sample displacement during the tensile test, have been based on the analysis of these results. It might be stated that destruction is the least for samples stitched in the warp direction AA for all fabric types, particularly for Power 13. As you can see in the photographs that have been displayed. Analyzing the BB cut direction, the results across the warp direction, one can see a great destruction of the seam and the significant violation of the fabric along the seam of the both sides. In relation to the AB direction, it can be stated that Secret 10 fabric showed the biggest value of damaging force and the smallest displacement. Similarly, the other 2 cutting configurations, values of Power 13 and Soft 10, were less. In all die cut direction cases, the damage was observed rather within the seam. In the case of Power 13 fabric, which is an elastic material with pile, the most visible is the variation of the damage depending on the direction of the sample cutting. The Power 13 fabric has similar strength in all directions, but due to its high stretch ability, the nature of the damage is different depending on the direction of the specimens. The most durable fabric in all directions with the least amount of destruction is Secret 10. This is a knitted fabric with an even weave where the weft and warp are made of the same thread. So the direction of the cutout has little influence on the seam destruction during the tensile testing. It has the greater grammage amount tested fabrics, about 400 gram per meter squared. In each case, Secret 10 reached the highest rigidity and behaved in a fairly similar manner with slight deviations. However, the mean displacement values of all cutting groups are comparable. In both fabric types, the weft and warp are significantly different. Hence, the variable form of destruction is closely related to the cutting direction of the samples. This might result from the fact that it is a skaic fabric, commonly called eco-leather. Its unusual structure has a significant impact on its strength. However, the damage takes a different form depending on the direction of the tensile force. The displacement, as in the case of Power 13 fabric, is comparable. Based on this, I would like to conclude that the strength of upholstery covers is influenced by the type of fabric. A knitted material with an even weave, where the weft and warp are made of the same thread, is characterized by better tensile rigidity. Furthermore, in the case the seam failure, form does not depend on the die cut direction. A sample's die cut direction affects the seam failure form, but does not influence the average tensile damage forces and observed displacements. The seam failure form in different die cut direction is closely correlated with the fabric construction, where the weft and warp can be made of different thread types. In case of Power 13 and soft 10 fabrics, it is evident that example AA die cut direction results in relatively small fabric damage and mainly from sides, while for BB direction, the seam was greatly damaged. This work can serve as an aid to the industry in the design of soft furnishings and construction of upholstery layouts, contributing to the rational and informed selection of materials to produce upholstery furniture based on the analysis of seam damages. It is possible to recognize whether the nature of the damage to the seam fabric combination is a result of the cover being sewn together incorrectly or is caused by the fabric structure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shrestha, for your beautiful presentation on which relates to fabric die cut, seam strength, and seam fabric combination. It's going to be a great knowledge for everybody. Thanks a lot for this thing. Now I'll request Dr. Lubna Saifi from NIT Bhopal to present her paper. Thank you. Any questions? Sorry, I'm so sorry. We can have our questions at the end of the session on these. So over to Lubna Saifi.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lubna Saifi. I'm a faculty in Textile and Apparel segment in National Institute of Design, Bhopal. And today I will be presenting the role of smart garments and clothing in metaverse. That's a upcoming trend in textile and fashion industry. So, and thank you, sir, for introducing me. Can I present my screen now?
Yes, please. Okay.
Everyone is able to see my screen? Kindly respond.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So my topic is smart garments, clothing in metaverse. So first, jumping into the clothing and garment sector, I would like to explain a little bit about metaverse and how we can find new opportunities into this field. So what is metaverse? Basically, metaverse is the word has been taken from the Greek word meta, which means across or transcending, and verse means universe. The word metaverse was first used in the 1992 novel Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. And when you think about the definition of metaverse, like everybody is giving their own definition because it's an upcoming field. And there would be a lot of innovation in terms of textile, feel, and haptic technology and all. So there are some definitions. The first one is by Tom Allen.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Your slide is not moving. So please present it without slideshow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's moving or not?
now it's moving.
Yes, okay. So, the first thing when we think about metaverse, it's a new term for a lot of people. So the word metaverse has been taken from the Greek word meta, which means across or transcending, and verse means universe. The word metaverse was first used in 1992 in a novel, Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. So when you think about metaverse, it is all about immersive technologies and a lot of garments that are made with haptic technologies and all. When we think about the definition, an exponentially growing virtual universe where people can create their own universe, how they see fit, adapting experiences and knowledge from the physical world, by Tom Allen, founder of the AI Journal. And the second definition is by Investopedia. Metaverse is a digital reality that combines aspects of social media, online gaming, augmented reality, virtual reality, and cryptocurrencies to allow users to invest virtually. The third definition is combined by me, a social construct that leverages the Web 3.0 blockchain and computer interfaces where individuals build customs, habits, and values that allow them to spend their time socialize in the virtual world using their digital identities avatar. It coexists with the real world. When you think about the metaverse, it is a combination of AR, VR, XR, MR, Web 3.0 gaming and blockchain, and it has a full interoperability in which people would be able to buy, sell, and exchange a lot of products and do the sale on the world level, not the state level or the country level. So I would like to give a little bit introduction what is augmented reality. It's a type of technology that allows digital images and information to be displayed onto the physical items. As you can see, man is holding a tablet in which the products from IKEA can be displayed on the background in his house. And what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is an artificial environment where people can do things and interact in that environment using mobile devices such as AR, VR glasses. So through the VR glasses, we have a lot of there are a lot of environments are being created in which we have different kind of fields and all. So here a person is enjoying the ambience of the nature and the touch of the butterflies and all. When we think about the mixed reality is a combination of AR and VR in which both digital material objects can coexist and interact with each other. It incorporates aspects of virtual reality, augmented reality, and Internet of Things. Internet of Things are those things in which we can connect and exchange data through in a lot of products and all. And when you think about the extended reality, under the umbrella of extended reality, AR, VR, MR comes, and there would be other reality that will come under XR. In XRs, there's a fine example of Microsoft HoloLens, in which the device can allow to you are allowed to place digital object in the room where you are standing in and give you the ability to spin it around it or interact with the digital objects in any way possible. When we think about the metaverse is basically based on the blockchain Web 3.0 decentralized autonomous organization that is called a TAI, and NFT, non-fungible tokens. The blockchains, when you think about the blockchain technology is a decentralized distributed ledger that stores the record of the ownership of the digital assets. In blockchain, the data cannot be modified, and that's why the technology is basically a legitimate receptor for the industries like payment, cyber security, and healthcare. There are a lot of blockchain like Polygon, Tron, EOS, Swans, Binance, and other blockchain that allow the creation of the smart contract. In the smart contract, you are allowed to sell and purchase your product online. When we think about the Web 3.0, the Web 3.0 is the third generation of the World Wide Web. Apple Siri and Wolfram Alpha are the quite fine examples of Web 3.0. And for example, Siri uses the speech recognition techniques and artificial intelligence to search and deliver results. DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. This organization does not have any central governing body, and the members share a common goal and with the best interest of the entity. And we can do business and everything on the world level. When we think about the NFT, non-fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens are cryptographic assets on a blockchain with unique identification codes and metadata that distinguish them from each other. And an NFT can be a digital assets like art, music, or game, or anything, video, or can be the garment also. And you can buy, sell, and trading them with a more efficient way through NFTs, and that reduce the probability of the fraud also. When you talk about the avatars, in avatars, basically the embodiment of the metaverse users in metaverse only, and there would be other parallel universe like metaverse in the future, and they are the person's identities, and that allow them to go at different adventures in to gain different experiences. In the metaverse nowadays, a lot of things are happening, like people are doing fashion shows like Dolce and Gabbana and all. And people are actually selling the products on metaverse also. For example, a bag has been sold for $4,000 on metaverse. So the pictures which you see over here, these are the avatars in metaverse, and the garments has been created using the clothes softwares and other kind of softwares like to give the real feel of the garments and the fabric. So like how this metaverse can revolutionize the fashion and textile industry. On the right hand side, you see a Gucci bag. That is a virtual bag, not a physical bag, that has been sold for 4,000 rupees. And the left hand side, the fashion show of Dolce and Gabbana, in which you can see the audience is standing in front of the ramp, and the garments has been displayed in this fashion show. Millions of users have been like watched this fashion show in that was hosted by Decentraland in partnership with UNXT, the leading luxury NFT platform. So like haptic technology. So haptic technology, the use of haptic technology is a lot in the metaverse. While playing any game or doing the shopping and all, a user wants to experience the fabric. A user wants to try on the garments, and a user wants to feel the all the senses while entering the metaverse or Decentraland. So haptic means anything related to the sense of touch. It derives from the Greek word of touch. So human experience, when we think about the human experience, it is consists of 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. While we use these kind of senses according to the research, we just use hearing and sight, and in the day-to-day activities, 90% technological devices which we use, we are using only these two senses. Rest of the senses, we can use not more than 10%. And when you think about the haptic technology, nowadays, if a person is getting up in the morning with the vibration of the phone that you can see, people are using smart watches, wristbands, and clothing also, and through the mobile and laptops also. So these are the devices which we are using on day-to-day lives that has the haptic technologies and all. So what is haptic feedback technology? It's a technology that allows one to receive tactile information through their senses by applying forces, vibration, and touches. Haptics stimulates an object or interaction from the virtual system, producing the feeling it's real.
Sorry to interrupt you, Lubna. You have to conclude it fast because.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there are kind of 5 haptic technologies, like force, that is based on force. vibrotactile, electrotactile, ultrasonic, and thermal. So force feedback stimulates the ligaments and muscle through the R skin into the musculoskeletal system, whereas any other type of haptic affects top layer of skin receptors. There are two types of force feedback devices, biomimetic and non-biomimetic. The second one is vibrotactile feedback. Vibro stimulators apply pressure to the definite receptor of the human skin. These receptors resemble onion layer structure and can accept vibration of up to 1,000 hertz. Ordinary human speech frequency varies from the 82 to 50 hertz. And the other one, electrotactile feedback, ultrasonic tactile feedback, and thermal feedback. So these are the kind of haptic technologies that are being used in the garment that are used in metaverse and all. So metaverse is on the retail segments also, and the Sudhugrams is the first virtual model that has been created, and she's a like supermodel, and a lot of designers are coming on this platform. Steffi Fung is a designer and 3D artist that is selling all the garments and product designed by her on from 0.5 to 2.4 ETH at NFT. And Bititsky is allowed to build and sell digital NFTs, as well as Dresses is a platform that sells digital fashion. And the Fabricant is a platform where you build digital fashion. So these are the technologies which are based on haptic. There are a lot of players in this type of suits where you can wear the suits and enter the metaverse. And this suit is created by Tesla. The first one is motion capture, and the second one is biometric system. In motion capture system, 14 inertial measurements IMU has been used to record and monitor the movement and positions of the users. The motion capture system can be used for animation creation, games and movies. And the second one is a biometric system. The biometric system provides a deep and readable set of information aimed at the understanding the historical taste of the users. So based on these garments, when we see these garments and all, and there are other platforms like for the marketing and all, in which Microsoft is using Mesh for Teams, in which a new meeting platform there that you can where you can meet your colleagues and hold meetings and all using the avatars and all. So these are the technologies which has been used in metaverse, and there are other innovations that are coming up in haptic technology is haptic 3D coding technology and fabric-based haptic device that improves the rate of motor learning, and circuit hug CERT by using e-textile for capturing and receiving sensation. The shirt actually allows user to send and receive physical hugs. And Neuralink is one of the companies that was founded by Elon Musk, and the company is developing the computer chips which will be brain implants and allow to have information directly bring to your brain. So in my research, basically, I'm working on how we can combine the haptic technology with ergonomics, and because different type of textile, fashion, fabric creates different emotions in human, and while using these immersive technologies and all, what kind of impacts we can have on our psychology, and how we can improvise it so that we can have the same state of mind that we have in our natural state while entering in the metaverse and while existing from the metaverse and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lubna, for introducing us to metaverse. It's a technology which sells, it's technology which counts. Since we are right now running out of time, so I'll request the audience to put their questions on the chat box. And may I invite Ankita Kumar to present the next paper, please. I think can you unmute yourself?
A very good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Speak a bit loudly, please. That's all.
Good morning to each one of you. Am I loud enough now?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would like to start my presentation. The topic of my presentation is blockchain. As it was presented very, very well by the topic was it's introduced by my fellow colleague, Miss Lubna. So I'll start with my presentation. Please let me know if I'm moving ahead with the slides, please. Are you all able to see the table of content?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is the flow of the presentation going to be. So the term handicraft encompasses a wide range of artifacts. Then this is basically termed as an informal sector, which includes handicrafts, and as described by International Labour Organization, that performs economic activity characterized by certain features like reliance on local available resources, skills, family ownership, small scale operations. It is very labor intense sector. However, the sector has faced several problems time to time because of its unorganized marketing activities and inadequate market information. So this basically can be provided with a support mechanism for product development as well as its marketing structure altogether. For this reason, craft segment need to increase visibility and transparency altogether to encourage traceability throughout the supply chain. This research basically, this review aims to discuss how craft market can custom blockchain technology to trace its supplies and efficiently, and how this can this can help in creating a real sustainable model along with the value that is expected by the customers. So, and customers and their behavior towards the craft segment. So this is the graph that looks like. This graph has been borrowed from the official website of Export Promotion Council of India. So it's a very fruitful sector to venture into, and the development of handicrafts from time to time has been increasing and very much export driven to the other countries. And this sector accounts for very high employment potential and highest among the product sector, and also very much value added components that goes into in making of the products. So, and as well as the net foreign exchange earning that it seeks also because of the exports. So that is about the. Now the problems, as discussed earlier also, it is very much, it is very much artistic in nature, and it very much traditional and hereditary traits that it follows. And along with that, it classifies products as craft on consideration of manual labor with minimal or no input from the machines. Basically, the machines the inputs of the machines are very much in lesser scale. So millennial attraction towards this sector is very much to the minimum also, and tier 1 and tier 2 based customers has almost no access to the segment, to the craft segment where actually the products are being made. So according to the researches, also researches done at the institute level along with the students, it was figured out that certain amount of people are customers basically are apprehensive about the quality, in knowing the quality of the craft product before actually buying it. So certain amount of people are very they're unsure of the authenticity of the product itself also, because they think of it as a replica and doubt the originality of the product. And also because of the fact that imports from China are available on lesser prices are also a threat to the craft segment. So there are again a percentage of people that found availability of the craft products not very regular and not meeting the demand of the customers from time to time basis. So artisans consider also, there are certain percentage of artisans that consider that their image on the social platforms is a major challenge, and they are because they are technology illiterates, they're not able to do that frequently. So the aim of this research was to develop a ledger technology for the craft sector, which implements, which we try to work out on a very much languishing craft, popularly named as Usta Kala or Usta Art, practiced in the region of Bikaner, situated in Rajasthan. So by applying this blockchain on this very beautiful craft that involves several stages and hand painting work on camel skin. So this can comprise each step that goes in making this rich handicraft, and by scanning the code attached to each product, consumer would be able to track the details starting from the dead animal skin to the colors that go into making this product, what painting, what brush, to the cover, the source of the colors, till the finishing that has gone into the creation of the handicraft. So talking of this Usta Kala, it is a form of a painting that is done with the real gold, basically real gold dust or a gold foil applied onto the dead skin of camel. And the skin is also processed before it is actually molded into a product. And this craft basically trickled from Iran during the Mughal dynasty, and then has basically found its home in the Bikaner region of Rajasthan. And then it is practiced by a faction of Muslim community over there, and which are associated in practicing this art form from. So this basically a conceptual framework is basically a device in basically contemplating how we can do basically the age, or from starting from the age to the gender to the death of the animal, to the steps in how this craft is basically finished, to the artisan detail with the artisan name, the artisan ID card, to the distributor details, wholesaler details, and that goes to the end user. Basically, end user is going to check all the processes first before they actually buy the product onto on a very simple application that is available in their phone also. So each product can have a unique digital token enabling customers to verify each step of its production and create a digital history that cannot be tampered, and check the information and the location with the timestamps mentioned for each block, and they're presented to the consumer via interface with the QR code attached to the product. So this basically connects the entire chain, starting from the raw material to process that goes in the craftsman that is involved to distributor, wholesaler, and then the end user that in the end certifies all this information. So challenges are basically many that we face. Basically, there are some drawbacks that need to be addressed before being broadly applicable to industries like craft per se. So the issues with latency on the time need to append, basically major issue that was found out for this application is basically the artisan who are not very literate, and as with this with any technology innovation, interoperability will be instrumental in ensuring implementation. For blockchain, that will be agreeing on common platform throughout given supply chain for all the blockchain basically transaction relationship in the industry. There will be also with, like, standardizing key data elements. So basically hesitation to adopt this blockchain was a major problem that was found out whilst we were trying to educate the artisan when we were on the ground. So blockchain is a good solution in terms of traceability and auditability, especially to the sector of handicraft. Virtually every venture that is using blockchain technology is still in its inefficiency and like a very beginning, like a very infant step. And there are many factors that are not dictated by technology, are because of its aesthetic and value addition in nature. So however, this is an area that can be ventured into. Thank you very much.
Great, Ankita. It was a great presentation, and this kind of technology is already being used in apparel sector from people, investor-backed people like Fashianza and Bruyo. If you wanted to work forward in this thing and you wanted to make it more commercial, you can be in touch with me. I might be able to guide you on this thing.
Yes,
to make
sir,
it
yes, sir.
more commercial, because I'm in touch with Fashianza and Bruyo also. So I could see how they are moving into the market through the same technology what you are already applying onto the craftsman. And that's going to be a very great opening for all those people who are looking to make some money while working in those areas. Thank you, Ankita. Thanks a lot. Again, question answer session at the end of it. So I'll request Dr. Subhashti from NIFT Chennai to present her paper. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I hope my screen is shared, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So my topic is on antimicrobial and anti-inflamed fabrics to prevent and protect cancer patients. So to begin with, it's all about the cancer. So this is one of the top 3 deadliest diseases in the world. And the other 2 kills very easily and quickly. Like after COVID, it has moved to the place of 3. But cancer brings a very agony death. So in a short way, I like to describe about it, it is a disease caused when cells divide uncontrollably and spread into surrounding tissues. In a labored, I can say that like it is a DNA change, a sudden DNA change, or in a very technical way, it could be said like the absence of programmed cell death, which is called as an apoptosis. So why the major reason? It is because at the present, whatever the lifestyle we are living into it, these are all the major reasons why we are getting number of cases in cancer. So these are the reasons like lifestyle, which we are following it up the present way with more stressful life, food, ultraviolet rays, tobacco smoking, or the other thing. And it is mandatory to know the threat, since like how it can be commercialized. This is one point like which I want to highlight with the statistical report, to understand the demand and the necessity in the market to come up with a lot of research and innovations in the area of cancer. So in 2022, in India, 19 to 20 lakh of people have been registered in cancer. The cases have been registered, and it is expected to increase 1.5 to 3 times in the upcoming years. In US at the same time, in the same year, in the present year, 1.9 million cases have been registered. And parallelly in the other world, actually it is increasing. But in India, soon in a decade, wherein 1 in 10 person is going to be infected or diagnosed with cancer. So there are, whether the cancer can be cured or can be treated. Yes, it has a different stages of 4 levels. Based on that, the treatments are given like surgery, CTRT, like the chemotherapy and the radiation therapy, the targeted therapy, biotherapy, immune therapy, bone marrow transplant, and gene therapy. But it all depends on the cancer. However, the requirements, it is required to treat it. And till the signs and symptoms, sir? The signs and symptoms for cancer is entirely different, but once it is diagnosed and the treatments are started, there are a lot of side effects are there. One of the major side effects is the inflammation, and the other, like many more other are there, like which related to like how I can connect it to the field of research. I have mentioned only those things. The sensitive to weather conditions, muscle weakness, skin dryness, early menopause, nerve problem, tingling and numbness happening, bone and joint problems fighting infections, lymphedema, like you get a swelling of arms and legs, pain that may be chronic and long-term, swelling, itching, rashes, and redness. So parallelly with the treatment, there should be some medication given for the patient for the side effects as well. So there are few side effect remedies it is there, like drugs, bandages, functional finished clothing, natural fibers, and aromatherapy. So aromatherapy is a therapy which is given to the patient parallelly when they're taking the other medications like drugs. So people who are into aromatherapy adopts the medication very quickly. So that is one of the reasons why it is now coming popular into the therapy. And when the drugs you mentioned it, particularly here for the intake, the dosage can be only limited. So you cannot give the extra or the additional dosages to the patient until a particular period of time. So only after that it can be given. So there should be an additional support. This is what the area where I focused on. So why this side effects causes, like it's mostly because of the infections. It causes one major reasons, like one is the neutropenia, which you call it as a reduction of immune cells. When the treatment is given, parallelly the patients get the immune cells. A lot of immune loss will be there for the patients. That's one of the reasons. And UV rays. So when the patients go out for a long time, they won't be able to withstand. They cannot be in the sun for a long time due to this particular treatment, but still they have to be in their regular activities. So what exactly this infection caused by? It is all about the microbes. So a little bit of understanding about the microbes here is like we have both advantages and as well as the disadvantages of it. But many chronic diseases, been aggravated by these microbes, especially this cancer. Lot of microbe infections can be identified. So specifically, if you talk about, there are like various infections with the microbes like bacteria, viruses, fungus, and protists, like happens in the various factors in the various occasions. In the level of stage of cancer, in the stages of cancer, different levels, patients, when they undergo the medication, they affect to this quickly prone to these microbes, infections. So generally, when people get it, there will be a defense system in the body, like where you can prevent and pretend or protect the body by naturally. But in this case, due to the health condition, say for example, when you get into a fever, normal fever, your immune level will be down and you need to get additional support with the drugs. But in this cancer patients cases, like where they are going the medications, they require the additional support. So there should be a protection in both the ways. Like the immune has to be fought in both the ways, like internal and in the external. So specifically being a textile person, where I'm focusing on, the skin functions as an extreme factor, external factor to protect and prevent majorly from the microbes. But additional support is required in the case of illness, the different stages and the types of illness. The additional support will be required. Why you have to be more serious is like the 60%, it has been registered, 60% of the people who were under the medication, the cancer patients who were under the medication, died because of this infection. So there are like these microbes can cause the extreme infection and lead to mortality. So keeping up and getting an idea or knowledge on this area, I wanted to focus more on the medicinal plants to finish my fabric. So little bit of study on this, or to have an introduction about these medicinal plants. We are using it for almost like thousands of years, about these herbs, shrubs and spices, specifically for a medical reason. In previous times, majority of the wounds were healed because of, with the help of this herbs and the little bit of spices which has been intake, and other ways like scent, flavor and therapeutic properties it has got when you specifically pick up this herbal finishes, and when you wear it, there are like the therapeutical properties of finishes. Because of this, you get it up. So it may help to prevent and manage heart diseases, cancer and diabetes. So that's why it's been mentioned, like regular intake in the food is mandatory of these spices. May also help to reduce blood clots and provide anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor properties. So with this, where I identify like common spices which we are very much known to is the ginger and the turmeric. So there are different family species in the ginger and as well as in the turmeric, where the zingiberia, like where I wanted to touch one of the family in the ginger, and which has got like the antioxidant, antimicrobial, which can be treated in many ways, like antibacterial, antifungal and antiviral, and anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer activity, anti-allergic, anti-tumor, UV protection, wound healing. These are all the major requirements which is which you mandatorily needed in the specific laws which you're gonna finish it or design it. So I identified one of the zingiberia family plants, and then I did a FTIR and GCMS. The most interesting thing about after identifying is like where there are certain effects once you do once you intake the specific the medicine, generally like these are like for the food intake. When you take it up, the moment immediately the medicine, the food, the spices gets in, all the bad cells like will be giving an alert will be given to it. You can identify, spot it out. The medicine, the plant immediately quickly spot it out. Generally, every normal person will also have the dead cells, the cancer cells will be available, but whether it is growing or not is the ultimate thing which you have to check it out. So in some cases, because of the lifestyle, it has been allowed to grow. Otherwise, this intake, what you do it up the regular, your food intake helps to kill this or attack this particular cell, and it kills it. So that's what the very special thing about this herbs and the spices, and generally this ginger, I wanted to highlight it. So I took up this plant, the zingiberia family plant, and I extracted with the ethanol and did an anti-cancer activity to identify whether it has got it. And with the cell line, I took a breast cancer cell line. I won't be able to do it immediately with the directly either the animal test or the human test, or there won't be any use of the normal cell line. So I specifically picked up the cancer cell lines. One is the breast cancer and the blood peripheral. So the blood cancer, I did it with the MTT assay method, like keeping up one control, I tried it up. So why out of the three, I mean, in a plant, you can pick it up the stem, the bark, the leaf, the flower, and the rhizome. Out of all these things, when I did a FTIR, I could identify the rhizome has got the better value. So I picked up the rhizome and extracted out of it and started doing up the further R&D in that. And antimicrobial susceptibility test I did with the Kirby-Boyer method. I specifically chose this three specific bacteria because these are the other which I have mentioned up here, like MRSA, MDR, VIE, CA, UTI. VAE, CLA, BBI, Klebsiella. These are all the common bacteria which affects the patients very commonly, like in general, easily it can attack. And the major bacteria which affects and almost like lead to death, or it makes it like it aggravates the disease, or it spreads, allow the cancer also to spread it over. And also the bacteria, the other infections also caused by it. One is the MRSA. It's a methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So I picked up that one, and Klebsiella pneumonia. So this is one where easily, like if you touch it, the normal thing, and the respiratory infections causes. Like further, the product can be focused or developed with this identification. And E. coli, which is a common thing, like you can find it out. So these are the major things which I focused and did it. And the zone of inhibition in the rest is like doesn't spread it. The inhibition is 0 in 0 mm. But in Staphylococcus, like with the 30 mul, with the 30 mul of this, the temperature, the sample, the inhibition level was 30 mm. It was able to find it out. So with this understanding, like I have chosen the cotton bamboo and the cotton bamboo mixed material. Why specifically is this? I did a survey. I understood certain things in the survey with the help of Adaya Cancer Institute in Chennai. So specifically, I gave an option to the people, like some specific fabrics where they are aware of and not aware of about the fabrics, given up the options of silk and the other wool as well. But people prefer like cotton, and some are aware of this bamboo. Bamboo has got general certain properties naturally. So that one combination, I want to give it up. So I chose both the fabrics, like woven and the knits, 40s and 60s count, and as well as 140 GSM and 160 GSM is a preference. I have taken it up, not too light. It needed to be a little lightweight. At the same time, I want my absorption to be in a better way for a long time, for the in future, like where I can consider about the leaching waste. So that's the reason why I specifically taken up this. So both cotton, woven and knits, I took it. Bamboo knits, I got it like it's a bamboo viscose, and cotton bamboo, I have taken it, the combinations where in the warp it is a cotton and in the weft it is a bamboo. Specifically, Mr. Shekhar from Anakaputtur, like he is developing some of the fabrics, like cotton herbal dyed fabrics, banana cotton blended fabric, aloe vera cotton fabric, tulsi neem finished fabric. So these are all having some antibacterial activities too. So where we are looking up further, the cancer patients can use it regularly as well. The test has been done on the other side. With this fabrics as well, and he is producing it specifically for this health cause. And with this, like considering my MIC value, I mixed up with the 8% of citric acid, and this is the process in the padding mangle. Through the padding mangle, I have done it. I am planning to do it in the nano finish as well, but then I want to check whether the fabric uptimes and the fabric is able to perform it in the way I needed and according to the requirement of the study. So I have done it initially in the padding mangle. The same method can be a little bit in depth for a long time use, and a long wash can be done it with the other specialized finishes as well. Once the fabric is being developed, like I'm focusing on the other test being done on the fabrics with the some of the microbiology tests and the textile testing. The microbiology tests are like antibacterial, where in the initial stage, like I have tried it up with some of the specific bacteria, but this time I want to specifically focus on 3 different percentages, like how it could be performed with the 10, 20 and 30 mul, an antifungal evolution with the test of AATCC 30 part 3, and antibacteriophage, like it has got an antiviral. So specifically to talk about this antiviral during the COVID more than the other patients, the normal in fact, cancer patients were very much easily affected with this COVID, and they were not able to get a treatment for the cancer parallelly when they were undergoing it. Because COVID also, like the other immune disease, like much cost to the cancer patients, and there was a lot of loss comparatively with the cancer. Easily the viral were infected with this. So the fabric, the further the product can be like diversified based on this experiment.
You are exceeding
yeah, I'm almost done. So anti-inflammation as well as done, and wound healing and UV protection is done. And the textile testing based on the strength, performance, dimensional stability, thermal and water vapor is done. So based on the fabric and the level of cancer requirements, the product will be developed as a casual wear, lingerie, and bed linen. I have categorized it so easily where the patients can wear it and work out. Even the breast cancer patients can also, like I'm working out on the panties, E. coli for that bacteria specifically with this finish will be supportive, and the bed linen people, especially who are in the palliative care, will be very useful for this. So these are some of the references, and thank you. So my study is mainly to improve the quality of the life where the cancer patients who are diagnosed with the cancer can live up to the time they can live. So on this, I would like to conclude it. So thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, Coordinator, and the other panelists.
Thank you, Dr. Subhashini. I'll look forward to the conclusion of your study, because
Yes.
I lost my brother long back on the cancer, and I had seen the pain in his eyes while dying because of all these problems. So you
Yes.
people are like God. People go to the temple, churches, and other people, but the people like you who are working on these things are more close to the God. So we will look forward for your conclusion of this study. Thanks a lot, Dr. Subhashini, for taking this kind of study. This is going to save a lot of people from the pain from which they go through, and I've seen in front of me. So thanks a lot, Dr. Subhashini, for your fantastic thing. I'll take the next study of from Sanjam Roshni on a journey of pineapple to the sustainable fabric. Just to start with this thing, we had been, I had been from 1985, we had been in touch with this kind of studies on different pineapple and other things in our college days, and have seen the evolution of that. So I look forward for a better version of that. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
You can start now.
Okay, sir. So good morning, everyone. I'm Thangzam Roshni, a PhD scholar from the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Gujarat, and my guide is Professor Madhusaran, and here I'm presenting my research on the topic, the journey of pineapple to handloom for making sustainable fashion textile. And here's the introduction. So the pineapple plant belongs to the Bromeliaceae family, and it is widely cultivated for the fruit in Northeast India. And the main purpose, they are mainly used for this fruit scanning, manufacturing juices and squashes, and also for the fresh consumption. So apart from the fruits, we can extract the natural fiber from its leaves after harvesting. So lots of wasted leaves are there after harvesting, and pineapple leaf fiber is a natural cellulosic minor fiber extracted from pineapple leaves. And here you can see the data. The major producers of these particular plants are Northeast states, and Manipur is one of them. So here are some glimpses of pineapple farm in Manipur. So here's a research problem. So sustainability in this in the fast growing textile industry, since textile industry is being predominated by the synthetic fiber, which is not environmental friendly, and it is the second most polluting sector as well. So we need to throw some lights in the production of natural based fiber for achieving this sustainability. And these wastage of pineapple leaves are found evidence in Manipur after harvesting. So, and it's only recognized as a fruit crop. So we can utilize these wasted leaves for making textiles. And the purpose of the study is to help in socio-economic growth as well as contribute in eco-friendly materials for sustainable textile products. So here I'm using traditional textiles as a source for fashion, as a source for sustainable fashion industry, and its production, processing, and export will be a major source of the livelihood of those small scale farmers and daily wage workers and weavers in the state, and using through this the achievement of sustainable development goals. So the objective of the study is to utilize the pineapple plant as the raw material in making sustainable fashion in the handloom weaving of Manipur. So here I'm making traditional textiles of Manipur, and Manipur celebrates a pineapple festival every year during harvesting time. And here are some pictures of the festivals. And the research methodology is divided into 4 phases. The first one is the procurement of the leaves. So the collection of the wasted leaves was done from a local farm in Manipur, and both Q and queen variety were collected. So here you can see the structure of a plant and the wasted leaves that I have collected. And the second one, extraction of the fiber. So it was done by means of hand scraping and machine. So since hand scraping is a very time consuming and the yield percentage is much lesser than the machine extraction. So machine extraction is highly recommended, and I have done the machine extraction in this CSIR laboratory in Manipur. And after the extraction, water rating process was followed. So the duration was around 5 to 7 days, and it depends on the weather conditions. It takes time during rainy days. And the third one is the testing of the fiber. So it was done to determine its length, fiber fineness, moisture content, and moisture regained, tensile strength, chemical composition of the fiber. And fourth one is the application in making handloom in a few of Manipur. So I have made this sample to check the possibility to be an alternative of conventional materials. So comparison between silk was done, since silk is the main material for making traditional textiles in Manipur. So the comparison was done based on their physical appearances. So here you can see the similarities between the two textiles. And here's the results and discussions. So physical properties of the pineapple leaf fiber. So here's are the physical properties of the extracted leaf fiber. And the second one is the chemical composition of the pineapple leaf fiber. And the strength of this fiber is very good. And second one, the application in handloom weaving of Manipur. So these particular fiber can be an alternative fiber to silk for making sustainable fashion textiles, or can incorporate with silk for making this textile. And the fiber fulfill the properties to make traditional textiles of Manipur without any treatment. So the yarn is made from the extracted fiber without any treatment, since we use since our traditional textiles is very stiff. We apply starch after making the textile, so there is no need to apply any starch for this inner fee made out of pineapple leaf fiber. So it was found that the wasted leaves produce white, lustrous, and fine silky fiber with good strength. So the fiber is very compatible for making our traditional textiles. So here you can see the final product that I have made, and I'm using only the traditional motifs are there. So here's the extracted fiber from the wasted leaves. So utilizing these ways will achieve 3 E's of sustainability. So the first one is the economy. So and the second one, empowerment and environment. So under economic, so this will help in doubling the income of farmers after harvesting fruits, and it will also help the local weavers with new raw material and scientific method. And the empowerment, this will sustain the traditions of hand weaving with the help of these available technology and methods, and this will be a benefit for local people, that these available natural resources can be a raw material for making textile. And under environment, utilizing these wasted leaves after harvesting, and these can be more eco-friendly fiber for making textiles. So So this pineapple leaf fiber can be a source for fashion plus traditional textiles. So utilizing this fiber in sustainable textile can contribute towards the sustainable development goals set by our UN. And here's the conclusion. So utilizing this natural resource will help in having greater extent to the local people of Manipur, and pineapple is one of the main cultivations in the state. So this fiber can be easily available for the alternative fiber to incorporate with the available conventional materials, and encouraging to cultivate this plant will save a better society by giving extra income to the daily wage workers and farmers, as well as by retaining the skills and weavings of handloom. So therefore, pineapple cultivation is a great sustainable resource of fashions and traditional textiles. Here's my references, and thank you.
Thanks a lot for the great presentation. At the end of it, the question lies is how to take all these products to the market. Customers are looking for such kind of sustainable fabric. How to make it more commercial is a big thing. And I think we have already taken one step, and my association, that is Textile Association of India, will take the second step to make it happen also, to market such kind of products to different customers, different brands. And I think I'm going to see that this is going to happen fast. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for everything. Any question, answers, Stephanie? Rohini, please, over to you.
Sir, there is no question answers in the chat box, so we can conclude the session.
Okay, so thanks a lot, audience, everybody, and presenter for the great presentation by all the people. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and looking forward to meet you people, young people, one day. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for conducting this session so successfully and so well. And we have already finished the session in time, so that is a good thing. And thank you so much, all the speakers.
Good
Kindly.
morning, ma'am. This is Srivani. I have a lecture which is pending in, it is ID 377.
Yeah, ma'am, I know, but it's not possible to take your presentation at this time because we are already 8 minutes late, and your presentation would be at 15 to 30 minutes approx, and at 12 o'clock the validity session will start. So it's not possible to.
Is there any possibility in other breakout rooms, ma'am, or it is the only one present going tonight?
No, ma'am. There is one more breakout room in which presentation is already going on. So you can go
Can
and
you
ask
please
them.
connect me? Can I get connected to that, ma'am?
You have to click on the breakout rooms, and then you have to join the session 22. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Excuse me, may I know where is the valedictory session is happening?